Hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We are back at the beginning of Hinterlands 3, and I downloaded the new build. So no complaining that there's no portrait update. It's good. We're here. P looks good. Oh wait, I need to file log. Where's preferences? I need to turn that back off. That way we can do the thing, right? I'm good. I don't need a tutorial. Choose a location. Okay. I have instructions this time. I have a thing we're gonna do, right? Okay, so we're gonna go to the tailor shop, and we will donate some of our clothes. Okay, I brought more clothes on this trip than I'd honestly need. I could part ways with most of them. Hell, I don't even wear some of them more than once or twice a year. When we got there, a tailor made her mind and said it wouldn't take too long. Changed her mind and said it wouldn't take too long. Just 1 or 2 hours. On top of the short trip back to the hotel to get a few shirts and pants. Which became 3 when her grandkids showed up from the back room, requiring a good portion of her attention. Then 5, counting a lunch break, and it ended up costing us the whole goddamn day after all. While she was off doing her thing, I went around town asking people about the hotel. No success on that front. Storm followed from a distance, enjoying a fine day of looking like a human. He had a smile plastered on his face the whole time. We returned to the tailor a few times over the course of the day, until it was all finally ready. Every time the old seamstress took a measurement, his grin grew wider. Each moment she'd ignore his bovine features was proof of the concord, yes, kept like Icarus, born aloft thing. Yes. Wait, give me a second. Okay. Was just checking something. Born aloft on giddy, childish energy, Storm's tail beats against his back. At least until she swore at him for not holding still while giving his thrashing tail a tug for emphasis. Storm looked at me with all the horror of a man made to realize the frailty of his hopes. A peacock feather wings and wax promises, all that separate him from plunging back into the hell he's become accustomed to. For an instant, he froze up, his joy inverted. He floundered in emotional freefall, like a skydiver whose parachute won't open. I tried my damnedest not to laugh, but the levity on my face kept his panic at bay. The realization soon hit him at terminal velocity. The old woman had already forgotten she'd even noticed his tail. Okay. With the ensemble complete. Yes. He came forward to look at himself in the full-length mirror. The mirror was a hazy thing, arrested with green lichen-like blotches on the corners. The Storm gazed at it, shifting left and right to check himself out. The jacket might be too hot for the climate, at least during the day. You sure you want to keep it on? It's the best part, man. It's like I came straight out of one of the movies I saw on TV. What do you mean by that? He shrunk back into uncertainty, seeming to have an awkward time explaining it. You know, no one wears secondhand football jerseys in movies, right? But that's what I had. It's what my mom could get me when I was growing up. That and those really thin polyester shirts from the factory down south. But they wouldn't last long, since I have horns. they'd get stuck and yeah. But in movies, it ain't like that. People don't wear clothes like that, you know. And they have cool haircuts, and everything's just stylish. I still couldn't quite figure out what movies he meant, besides just things he's already looked good enough to be in movies. He thought looked good enough, yeah. Maybe I should take that as a compliment. Those were my clothes, after all. You shouldn't compare yourself to actors like that. It isn't fair. You do know they have whole teams to do their makeup and prepare those clothes, right? Normal people can't look like that. But I am looking at it right now. Like, one of those punk guys. That's why I pierced my ear in the first place. You know, always wanted to look like this, just for a day. Kid, are you serious? Calling my clothes, all of the things, punk, for a tough guy in a rough place? Pretty damn sheltered. Doesn't have to be for a day. Those clothes are yours to keep. And I can't say I'm surprised you want to look punk. The ear gauge did give it away. How'd you even get it pierced through these parts? Is there a tattoo parlor around somewhere? No? Oh, that. Yeah, so. Back then, it was some years ago. I just turned 18. I was spending a while away from home, and there was this gang. I joined up with them, and was told I had to impress. So they got the idea of sneaking into a farm and getting the needle gun they used to tag cattle. Yeah, so that happened. Things got complicated, so I left. But I did actually want the earring. Makes me feel intimidating, I guess. More normal. People never liked me much. Even Mom sure as hell didn't. After a while, I just accepted it. What could I even say to that? Granciliano Ramos, yes, couldn't have written a more tortured kid. We both shuffled our feet in silence, while the seamstress checked every bill of the cash I forked over, before I took the initiative to break it. You do look good. With the clothes and the gauge. Style and edge. Thanks, boss. Okay, I assume this is the... Okay, where are we going? What's next on my list? Okay, we'll go to the town plaza. Yes. The town plaza was a narrow strip following along the main road for 100 meters or so. One of the few places with any greenery in the hinterlands, even if most of it led a miserable short life before withering and having to be replaced. I saw that a building which I remember being a local cheese store when I was a kid was now abandoned. I wondered if the candies my grandpa would buy me from that shop could be found somewhere else along the strip, before I remembered our purpose for being here. Knowing that Gramps had tried to be thorough. Yes, I imagine that asking any of the sparse passerbys or store clerks about the hotel might only get us some eye rolls or blank stares. At any time of day, there would be a handful of people walking or loitering around the place. One, however, caught our attention above all others, a rambling madwoman, screeching in the middle of the plaza. What? Nah, we will spend time with Storm. We took a stroll down the strip and then rested on a bench under a tree for a while. As I reviewed Grandpa's diary, Storm watched the passerbys while swinging his legs back and forth. Off in the distance, a grainy radio cried so unrecognizable tune, but Storm could follow it along with his humming. You're in a good mood, lad. Sure as hell am. Oh wait, sure as hell am, boss. This is real nice. A whole life of people glaring at you, right? Then one day you finally walk among them and pass unnoticed. Must feel good. He didn't answer, but just looked off to the radio's direction and started humming a tune of his own. He beats his hands on his thighs while clopping his hooves on the flagstones below the bench. He stuck to the song's rhythm for only a half a dozen seconds before off into a wilder dance, tapping his thighs on the ground and to a different beat, all the while humming a counterpoint to the tiny melody. What are you doing? Can you count? Look! He clapped his right hand on his thigh for the song's beat again, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then went to beating 3 times on his left thigh for each 4 from the radio, all at the same time. But that wasn't enough for the kid. With his left hoof, he stomped out 5 for every 4, then 6 for his right hoof. How'd you learn to, count? I just listened and went along with it. Helps pass the time, to just, beat against the rhythm and make my own melody to the song and stuff. The Hinterland's first jazz percussionist. Impressive. It's cool when songs change up the time and stuff. Not enough shit does it. He kept on with the counter rhythm, and not caring for the handful of people who passed within earshot. No matter how much noise he would make, no one cared to look, which only spurred him to go louder, quicker, miming a drum solo alongside the refrain until the song's end. You really are in a good mood. I've never had this before, boss. Just going unnoticed like this. I could stay here the whole day, enjoying the moment. Working for me has its perks, huh? Sure. You could pay me better, but the benefit's worth it. Pay can always be better, kid. There's no such thing as enough money. Which means I'm not raising your salary, not even by a dime. Well, can't blame me for trying. Though I suppose there is the catch. Yes. What do you mean? You must be a devil, sir. I'm just waiting for you to spring me. Yeah, to spring me open my soul or something on me. Sorry, kid. But that's worthless to me. Don't even know what I could do with it. Man, a soul must be worth all that. Mustn't be worth that much. Lots of people getting in trouble, dying for stupid things. Well, I'm just glad I get to have a chance in life. And now that I have this charm, even if I go to hell, this will be a life worth living. You can rest assured that I'm not taking you to hell. Everything's going to be okay. No, sure it will. This is gonna be one of them stories with a happy ending, right? No matter who, having someone voice their faith in your efforts is always a mood booster. You know it. After that, there are some tries. Just to say we tried, we asked around the plaza about the hotel. No luck. Okay. Oh. And his eyes glisten. And his eyes too, glistening softly by his smile, focused on my face and not the bulge of the gun in my pants. Okay. Well, I reach out to give him a half hug, or maybe more like a pat on the back, but just before I touched him. How did his mom and siblings treat him? Did he even have someone to hug growing up? How touch-starved has he been all this time? I reach out and pulled him, or pulled myself, into a proper embrace. I was never the strongest agent on the force, but I could always pull my own weight. I gave the kid a proper squeeze to try and make up for all those years people had treated him like trash. I try to steal your shit, and you say you'll help me start over. And if you step out of line, I'll run your ass harder than boot camp or my dad's. I clench my jaw and tried to smirk. Yeah, I'm weird like that. Nah, you're the best person I know. You have no idea what you're saying. If you knew the kind of shit I could do to you. No, stop. Breathe. You have very low standards for what makes a good person. I'm a fucked up son of a bitch. I'll have you know. You'll... look who you're talking to. I pat him back. A feisty little bastard, even with tears in his eyes, ain't he? I sighed a little bit to myself. Enough of this sappy shit. We're supposed to be hunting down a hotel, aren't we? Yes, sir. Okay. Maybe birds of a feather do flock together. Okay. What is the next stop? The Library. Across the street from Down Tapier's oldest school, there is an indistinct, assuming little house. That is what that says. I don't know the precise date, but some decade ago it was turned into a makeshift library. It had no doors to speak of, just a rusted iron gate that no one ever bothered to lock. Storm and I let ourselves in, ignoring a piercing screech of protest from the decrepit hinge. Yes. There was no electricity either. Someone had invaded the house and stolen all of its wiring. Amazing. Leaving long geometric scars and haphazard holes in the molding drywall. The roof has fallen apart in places, yes, forming a natural skylight, at the cost of hard weather destroying most of the books. Storm mentioned that the library had been abandoned about a year ago, and what little evidence I could gather from the state of decay corroborated his claim. There wasn't too much left to see, but there were still a few intact fiction and non-fiction books strewn about. From the corner of my vision, I caught Storm reaching out for the former, but the kid stopped himself at the last second. What is... Yeah, okay. Tucked into the corner, yes, beneath a pile of moldy hardcovers, we find a dozen children's paperbacks. Only a little rat nibbled. Okay, those were the only truly salvageable volumes in the whole place. One of them was an illustrated retelling of the myth of the Minotaur, focusing on the heroics of Theseus as he overcame the cannibalistic monster and escaped with the princess Ariadne. Omitted, of course, was the fact that he left her stranded on an island afterwards, among many other questionable deeds. The book's final page had been scribbled over so as to make the brown Minotaur's fur black, and his death had been embellished with an excessive amount of red crayon blood. From over my shoulder, Storm saw it all. I spoke up before he could sneak back outside. Kids are fucked up. You're telling me. The authors of children's books doesn't help much either. I remember reading a pretty graphic account of an ancestor's story that ended up with him getting his head smashed with a rock, and that messed me up as a kid. I had nightmares about being stoned to death for years. And for a while, I guess I kind of accepted I'd die like that one day.
I had the same thing. For the longest time, I thought I'd somehow turn into a cannibal, or someone would hunt me down in them.
Maybe it's best if we change the subject.
Yeah.
After that, we spent quite some time looking around for any possible point of interest, especially Storm. Eventually Storm huffed and stammered out a question he's evidently been thinking about for a while. Okay, I think I'll just end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.